The NFL hasn't seen Mr. Playoff D in the playoffs yet. Playoff D being Daniel Jones. Playoff Daniel. Dirty Dan. It's all coming back. They ain't never seen dual threat Danny come in the playoffs and go to another level.
I feel like if he goes in the playoffs and he is different, because there are bro. We saw with Eli. Obviously, I'm not making no Eli Manning comparisons. Not just in football.
Yes.
Not just in football. In almost every sport, there's dudes when they hit the playoffs, it's like they're completely.
It's like a light
different.
switch. It turns
completely different. So I feel like, you know what, this playoff game, that we may or may not have is gonna tell a lot.
Playoff say and do some of his thick legs and run over some grown men. Ain't never seen playoff sexy Dexy handle 2 grown men in each hand and bulldoze them.
They called me a mad.
They called me a madman. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say, Justin. They called me a madman. I want to let y'all know right now, everybody in the chat, I said this was gonna be the best call-in show of the year, and now the year just did begin. We got Justin, and after Justin, we got some heavy hitters lined up. I just hope y'all know that. It's going to be jam-packed as he looks like a ghost because I don't know what his camera does to him to make him look like that.
This is
It's
bad.
very pale.
It's my lighting.
Very washed out. But we got you for some time, Justin. We're going to use the best of it. Shout out to Ligma. Shout out to Chris. Shout out to Nova. Shout out to El Jefe. Shout out to Vibes. Shout out to Mr. Glass Half Full. Ash. Everybody. Some of those names are going to be on here. Go ahead, Justin.
Wow.
What did you think? What did you think of that intro video?
Yeah, I was about to say, first off, besides like feeling like I'm watching a soft, you know what?
Soft what?
Soft starts with a P.
Soft pitcher?
Yeah, let's go with that. Besides me feeling like I'm watching maybe something that's not football related, you were spot on. Like in kind of like some of your expectations, I feel like if you're digging too deep, it's like, oh, well, Adoree, McKinney, their impact, and we didn't have them the first time, and the Giants got to run this, the Giants got to do that, early down efficiency, but you can get specific with it, but Daniel Jones is a different kind of dude in the playoffs, and like one of the things that Bobby was saying is like, we want to see Daniel Jones in the playoffs because you just have that feeling that his cold-bloodedness and his cool, calm, collected character, he could be a killer. He could be a killer in the playoffs, and that's what he was against the Vikings. And man, Saquon Barkley not needing to get 20, 25 carries to really have a stamp on a game. 9 rushing attempts, 5 receptions, I think, over 100 scrimmage yards. That's a pretty good yards per touch right there with a couple touchdowns, literally carrying. You talked about his quads, and carrying.
Yeah, I was gonna say he did what I said he would do.
Carrying Dalvin Tomlinson into the end zone, and man, did Dexter Lawrence not just dominate that football game? So man, your kind of expectations and thoughts, they were absolutely spot on, man. There are 3 stories kind of heading out of that game. It's Daniel Jones, it's Saquon Barkley, it's Dexter Lawrence, and those are the stars of the New York Football Giants.
Wait, are you guys telling me that I didn't have my correct mic selected at all and y'all let me just roll with my webcam
I
mic?
heard the typing. Now, I know that you do like OBS, so I know sometimes that I hear a bad mic.
Yeah.
So
I just switched. I just switched to it because I was like, I was double checking.
Sound great.
Yeah, I was double checking. I'm like, everything's fine
credit
here.
Credit to me, by the way.
What's up?
I'm a professional. You were typing. I stayed locked in.
Thank you for staying locked in.
I stayed locked in. I'm a professional.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I hope you had a professional camera, but we can't all have what we want. But it's okay.
It's my life.
No, that's a joke, obviously. I love you in that Eli Manning jersey back there. I can't tell if it's autographed or not.
It is autographed.
Where is it? Is it on the blue?
It's on the white. First time I'm ever doing this. Oh God, wrong.
Nice hairline.
There's my hair. Do you see it?
Ah, I see it now. I see it. It's on the
There you go.
10. It's on the
There you go.
0.
You like my hair?
All right. Yeah,
I have
it's
gray.
pretty nice.
All right. Enough. You were right.
No,
Hashtag
this
Hub was right.
that wasn't even there just to say I was right. That was there to say I hope everybody is buying into the Super Bowl agenda. But sadly, Justin, you're not. Why aren't you buying into the Super Bowl agenda?
Do not put words into my mouth.
Okay.
It's just that this Eagles team scares me. Like any given Saturday, as they say, you know, we've always said any given Saturday, that's the phrase. Any given Saturday, and you know the fact that this Giants team did go toe to toe with them 3 weeks ago with their practice squad third stringers, and even like the 48-22 loss, you didn't have McKinney, you didn't have a Dory Jackson, and you know you just watched that game individually, and you know the Giants did get the Eagles into a lot of third and longs, which hey, that's what you want to do in the game of football. You want to get them into third and long. What are you doing on third and long? You're throwing the ball. Well, you have McKinney and Adoree that changes those things. Plus, you have a pretty good pass rush. You know, Dexter's playing a little well. Kayvon Thibodeau under the lights, primetime Kayvon. We know that'll be a thing. Wasn't a thing a couple weeks ago. So, you know, there's a lot of things that are different, even compared to the first matchup that we had against the Eagles. But still, I mean, I think it kind of comes down to Jimmy's and Joe's and this Giants roster. I mean, we know that they're not good. We say it all the time that they're not good and they shouldn't be here, but that doesn't mean that they can't win the game. I mean, they have Brian Dable, they have their superstars, you know, they got their guys that are rolling right now, and I'm ready for them to shock the world. And hey, it'll even shock me a little bit, but I'm still rooting, you know, no matter what, I'm still rooting for the team, and I'm still going crazy Saturday night. But this Eagles team just scares me, man. I think they have the best roster in the NFL.
We'll definitely get back to the Eagles team and kind of get a little bit more in depth with that, but I guess we have to start off with Daniel Jones himself and what was a damn near flawless performance by him. Like he was definitely one of, if not the best quarterbacks on Wildcard Weekend. I don't think it's a stretch to call him the best quarterback on Wildcard Weekend. You know, you had what Dak did Monday night, and Dak was also really good. But yeah, go ahead, man. Daniel Jones, the Bucks. Tom Brady is an old man. He's a geriatric. Yeah. He didn't belong on the field. Go ahead.
I don't want to say he's cooked, but. I mean, here, man. Here's what you want to know what I learned about the NFL this year.
What's up?
Coaching is the singular most important thing in the NFL if you want to succeed. I think Dexter Lawrence has been unlocked by Andre Patterson, the D-line coach from Minnesota. It was an Andre Patterson revenge game. I think Andre Patterson really emphasized the fundamentals of being a good defensive lineman, and I think that has unlocked Dexter Lawrence. Like it's rare to see like a year 4 jump from. Usually happens year 2, year 3. A year 4 jump for a player like Dexter Lawrence did, becoming like one of the NFL's just best players. Crazy, and I think that's Andre Patterson kind of unlocking that. And I really don't think like Daniel Jones hasn't taken like this huge, gigantic jump performance-wise. Wins-wise, yes. Efficiency, yes. But like I think Daniel Jones is the same kind of quarterback that he has been throughout his entire career. And that's not a slight to Daniel Jones. It's just recognizing that Jones has been good. Jones has been good. The turnovers are obviously drastically down, but Jones just overall as a player has been hurt more by coaching and not having a good left tackle for the first 2 years of his career. Jones has been hurt so much by that is more of a reason that the Giants have been bad the last couple of years than Daniel Jones himself. Do you agree with that? And I really think like coaching has really just set us apart this year. That has been the thing that has set us apart. And it's let these guys that are good players like Saquon, like Daniel Jones, like Dexter Lawrence, it's unlocked these guys.
So the coaching thing, okay, yeah, that's funny, bro. I just saw an Aaron Rodgers clip that actually talked about Dexter Lawrence. I don't know if you saw it. And I'm not the biggest fan of Aaron Rodgers, but he was talking about Dexter Lawrence. He mentioned him in the same breath as Aaron Donald, essentially, which is, I guess, really big praise. But Dexter has been on that level. I definitely agree with the Andre Patterson point. I love the hiring since we got him. I really think that, you know, knock on wood, if Wink were to walk within the next year or two, I feel like Andre is somebody that could step up as a defensive coordinator. In fact, from what I heard from Minnesota fans when we hired him, they wanted him to be the defensive coordinator. And obviously, they didn't hire.
They're kicking.
They didn't hire the best one. Yeah, they didn't hire the best one. I forgot the dude's name. Ed Donatel, I think, is his name, and he has not been that.
Glad he's bad at his job.
Yeah. So there's that. I'm really happy with Andre Patterson. Maybe it's also a combination of that and Dexter actually just finally reaching a point where he understands he needs to be a bit more mean as a defensive lineman. What I mean by that is Dexter was always big, but he never really played like a rabid dog, if that makes any sense. Kind of like
Well, they
how
switched him
LT
to
said.
nose tackle, where
And
he's at
yeah,
nose
they did
tackle,
do that. Yeah,
which the
he's
fans, I feel like the
yeah.
fans, basically since Dalvin left, have been like, throw this guy a nose tackle, throw this guy's a nose tackle. The fans kind of finally got what they wanted. Then lo and behold, that's been part of the reason why he's been unlocked, that he's been able to go on centers, manhandle guys from the front, rush the passer from that A gap, and he's been eating, man. So it's been really, really fun. And I think you look at teams like Dallas, like why Dallas has all these talented rosters, and this even goes back to when Jason Garrett was the coach. I hate you. This even goes back to when I don't think
Why did you
Mike
cut yourself
McCarthy,
off? Why did you cut yourself off just now?
I don't want to live in the past. We're in right now. But just talking about having a coaching advantage and not having a coaching advantage. Why I think Dallas will never ever do anything is because they just don't have a coaching advantage. And you look at Justin Herbert. How good is Justin Herbert at quarterback? Well, they just fired their OC. Especially if you don't have a good offensive play caller, I'll narrow it down at that. If you don't have a good offensive play caller and if you don't have good coaching that kind of complements that, then your team will go nowhere, because this Giants roster is bad. This Giants roster is bad. Again, kind of circling back to that, but the coaching has kind of gotten us here and it's launched us to this point. So I love it, man.
Mm-hmm. So, well, we talked about coaching for the defensive side of the ball. I think that goes like Leo's had not necessarily a down year. He's just kind of been taking a backseat almost. You have the other guys on the defensive line that are performing well. He had a really good game against Minnesota as well. I feel like he was wrecking shop. Him and Dexter were really the guys that were all over the place. Is there any explanation for why all year long and even in the playoffs, Vaughn cannot buy any type of call from the refs? Do they have something against this guy? Like,
Dude,
he cannot buy a single call.
It's all year. All year. I don't get it, man. Maybe it's the angle which they hold. I mean, they're obvious when they're on the broadcast, but I don't know in the back of my hand where the officials are standing on the field at all time. Maybe offensive linemen are getting smart and they're holding in a particular kind of way. So it's not even just like, oh, they're letting the kids play in the playoffs, but dude, he's been getting held all year. And it's like, it's really frustrating. Where now I just like shrug my shoulders and I say, whatever, that they should have called it, but they're just not going to call it on him. I don't know why.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You just hate me, bro? Do you want me to say I agree? Yeah, valid, incredible points.
Little radio things, man. Transitions.
Justin, to add on and to piggyback off of that point.
Bang.
And switching to the offensive side of the ball this time,
great
with a player in Matt Breida, who I've been wanting the Giants to get involved a lot more. And Matt Breida had a really good game in terms of the way they involved him. He was almost looked at times like the primary running back, because Saquon was used more in the passing game. And how did you feel about that?
I have a stat for you.
Go ahead.
So the Giants utilized motion at the snap 30% of the time this past Saturday. Their season average was 16% heading into Saturday's game. So that's, if you do the math there, that's like double. If you have 15% double, that's almost double the amount of motion at the snap that they used in Saturday's game. And that is something I put out an I Know Ball clip today from the preview pod that we did on Friday. And I was advocating for, I want to see the wrinkles that you can add to the Giants offense that the Vikings haven't seen is having Richie James, Saquon Barkley, Matt Breida, having these guys running in motion, utilizing misdirection. So let's talk about that Saquon Barkley 29-yard pitch that goes for a touchdown, right? Who is going in pre-snap motion in 21 personnel? 21 personnel is 2 running backs and a tight end. Usually 21 personnel is like a fullback and a running back, but the Giants have utilized it where it's Breida and Saquon on the field at the same time. The Saquon Barkley 29-yard touchdown, Matt Breida going in motion at the snap, going across the line of scrimmage, going to the right. The linebacker stands there, sits, doesn't react at the snap. Saquon Barkley takes that pitch, and that is enough time for that linebacker not to react, where he gets the sideline, makes a nice little cut, touchdown Giants, tie game. Really, I think starts and kicks off the momentum with an explosive play right there.
That's the first touchdown you're talking about, right?
All led by an explosive play and Mike Kafka, Brian Dable drawing that up and allowing Saquon Barkley that time that running back or that linebacker isn't coming over and crashing down.
What's up, Asia, in the chat? I know you've been somebody that's been talking about explosive plays a lot during the season, and I've kind of picked up on it, and I liked it a lot. I've also been kind of mentioning it whenever I have a chance, and I know for a fact that in this game alone, I think the Giants had, if not the same amount of the explosive plays they had on the season, like more than what they had on the season.
So they've tied their explosive play. Now, I count an explosive play as 20-plus yard plays. I clip any run that is 10-plus yards, and I put it in what I call an explosive play report. I clip runs that are 10-plus yards. I clip passes that are 15-plus yards. But at the end of the day, what I count is the 20-plus yard plays. So the Giants this past Saturday matched their season high of explosive plays with 5. They had 5+ 20+ yard plays. Now, it sucks is that the Isaiah Hodgins catch was 19 yards. So they were 1 yard away from breaking, their season high. So I think the first Vikings game, they had 5 plays of 20+ yards. And then I also think in the Colts game, they had 5 plays of 20+ yards. So, hey, they're clicking at the right time. And this is what you want your offense to be. You want your offense to be an explosive offense. You want your offense to be efficient on early downs. And it's basically been since that Washington tie where this coaching staff, Brian Dable, Mike Kafka, they've changed the offense from centering it around their running back, and they've put the offense in Daniel Jones's hands. They're centering the offense around the quarterback. And then lo and behold, when you center the offense around your quarterback, everybody else, including your running back, does look better.
Mm-hmm. Now, Justin, can I ask you for 10 more minutes of your time? I know you said you only had 20.
Ask me how yes.
For 10 more. Okay. Now, I'm also going to pop on 3 of my really good friends here, fellow content creators that I'm sure you know. And let's get them on. They need no introduction. It is Mr. Vibes, Eli Rax. It is El Jefe. It is Mr. Glass Half Full. It is the New York Revival.
Round of applause! Round of applause!
Wait, first of all, no. Pause. Everybody, no, stop. Halt the presses. Why is it that only Vibes and Hefe have New York Revival stuff around them? Where is your stuff, Mr. Glass Half Full?
Yo, my shit. Here. Oh, you know what? Fine. You're right.
He said fine. You're right. All right.
There you go.
Fine. Make me promote my company. Whatever.
I'm like, hold up. I'm not the one that's supposed to be telling him this.
I need a man cave, bro. I need a man cave. I'm currently in my guest room slash office / dude, I need a man cave. And don't worry, there's a lot of parallels going to go up. But you're right. It's shameful of me.
Can I ask a big favor? Can you just pull it on real quick?
Yeah, put it on, man. This will let you know the man caves in the worst, guys. You can just come right here. I got you covered.
Spiro has been
Shout out Justin Pennick, man. Hey, what's going on, bro?
Spiro's face.
Oh, what does that mean? Goatee. It was
I
in his
figured
contract.
that was okay. It's in his contract. Okay, I love it.
Yeah,
had to be done.
Vibes, you gotta give me like a 10% cut just because I did that, bro. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying, bro.
Yo.
Thank you. I appreciate you, man. We're gonna talk. But listen, man. If the Giants win challenge, this is why Speed has the goatee. Tomorrow, my head will be shaved down in the middle, but I'll have the sides like George Jefferson, and I'm gonna have the whole theme song going for the if the Giants win because we won. So guess what we're going to do when they beat Philly? Because they're going to beat Philly. We're going to jump into the ocean, man. We're going to do a polar dive, all right? That's what we're going to do.
Which ocean? The Atlantic?
I don't even know, man.
Motherfucking ocean, baby.
The dirty
ocean.
But guys, we do need introduction, man. We with the big dogs here. You guys are the big dogs. We're
That's
nobody
cap.
here. You know what I mean?
Cap.
What's good? What up, Hub?
Y'all better
thank you for having us on.
Y'all need to go over to Twitter, follow New York Revival. Y'all need to go over to the channel and show support. And then El Jefe actually has the separate Chef Hefe channel now. Well, I say Chef because it's it's the fun one. But yeah, how you guys doing, man? How y'all doing?
Doing great, man.
Doing great, man. We're on cloud 9, man. The Giants won. We're feeling amazing. I don't know. Let's go around the room, man. Hefe, Speed.
I'm glad we're here.
Amazing.
I've been trying to connect with Hub and get on his channel for a while, and it just like scheduling just never seems to work out. Justin Among the people I've met on Giants Twitter, and I've met so many people that I interact with regularly, Justin is like at the very top of the list of number one's like amount of times you actually see them and talk to them, right? Like me and Justin have hung out probably 12 times. But like from very early on, like before the videos started, any of that, he found some old videos and was like, dude, you need to be funny on Twitter. And I was like, I don't know how to do that. And he was like, you have to figure it out. Figure out a way to bring them together. So like Justin encouraged me and like shoved me through that door early on. So always appreciate Justin, and obviously talking Giants. I mean, what else do you need to say?
They're the best. They're the best. We try to emulate these guys. They're the best. Listen, if you're a Giants fan right now and you're not on cloud nine, you're doing the wrong. You're rooting for the wrong sport, man. Like this is we haven't been. You could say 2016. This has been over a decade. This is over a decade of hardship, and we deserve this, and we got the right coach. Like Justin was saying before, you never knew how much coaching mattered until you get the great one back. And like the Tom Coughlin games, we were ready to fucking go every big game. Now Brian Daboll got the same feeling. I don't feel like anybody can outcoach us, and that always gives us a leg up, man. I'm so psyched.
Let me say this too, man, and I'm probably saying this too early. Probably people are like, don't say it, but let's be honest, man. It feels magical. Like you feel something is happening, a shift is happening with this New York Giants team, right? Like you see these guys playing harder than what you initially thought, especially with this roster being the way it is of guys that are off grocery lines or bagging groceries or changing breaks, right? This team is playing hard. Daniel Jones is stepping his game up, man. Dexter Lawrence is playing lights out. Saquon's playing amazing. This team just has something special, and I don't want to be in front of them if I was any team at this point. I'm not being biased here. It's just you can see it. You can feel it, man.
Let me stop you for a second, though, Vibes. Let me stop you for a second. We got to go back to the resident Eagles fan and Justin Pennick and ask him once again to restate and clarify why he doesn't feel the magic right now. I don't want to put words in your mouth, you know. So I just want you to. I just want you to state your statement.
Well, you called me a resident Eagles fan. First of all, Hub doesn't know who the Eagles are. Like, not yes. The Eagles. The Eagles. Like,
yes, I was referring to your music taste. You know, he's a resident fan of the band.
Is it bad? Is it bad that I'm like?
You can't throw that in.
I'm really listening to the Eagles this week. Is that bad?
No,
you're putting like the hex on them. You're in a way.
It's like us having our watch party at Mr. Purple. Like you think it's bad, but it actually was good because we're doing.
Wow,
that,
you're playing. You're playing with fire, and you're not afraid to do so. I like that.
I like it.
Eat cheesesteaks.
So here's why I'll bring us back in here. Here's why. I'm like, first, if we win this game, we're winning the Super Bowl. Like that. That's the facts. Eli, you threw it out there like this team is special. I will be there if they win this game, and I will be convinced that we're winning the Super Bowl. Like it doesn't matter because I think this Eagles team is most talented in the NFL, and that's not even to just it's not even just blowing smoke up up their butt or anything. It's just they're so good.
They're easily in the conversation. Yeah,
so good. Their roster's good, and I think I do feel like we have the coaching advantage. I feel we have the coaching advantage against 95% of the coaches in the NFL. And even those coaches, it's like, why not? Why can't Brian Daboll and Mike Kafka, Wink Martindale think of something that can make even the best quarterback in the NFL a little bit uncomfortable, right? So I feel like we have the coaching advantage, but at the end of the day, we all recognize that this roster still has a lot of work to do. And the Eagles roster, they have been building to this point, even with a quarterback that nobody was really sure of 2 years ago. Does sound familiar to the Giants, but they've been building to that point. So that's where I'm a little hesitant. So talk me into it. Talk me in.
Let's go to the. Oh, let's go ahead. I was gonna say let's go to the end of the room and then work our way back up. So let's go to Hefe. We'll work our way back up to Vibes. Hefe, what can you say to convince this man?
How the Giants are going to beat the Eagles? Is that what you need to know?
No, how Richie James is going to end up as a Super Bowl MVP.
I would die.
Put some respect
Really?
on Richie James.
Okay.
I have
okay.
no case. I have no case
Hefe,
for
were
that.
we at Giants training camp? Did I like tell you about Richie James and how much I loved him? Is that one of the things that we talked about?
I'm not
Is that
sure.
one of the things you remember?
No.
No, you only
No, I don't remember.
No,
You only
you
remember
told me-
me
you
talking
told-
bad about Tony. Yeah.
Exactly. You told me what was going to happen with Tony months
Yeah.
before it happened. So
All right, tell
I'm
me
still not
how
over
the
that.
Eagles are gonna tell me how the Giants are gonna beat the Eagles.
The Giants are going to beat the Eagles because Daniel Jones is not the Daniel Jones of old. He is on the move and he's sharp and he's out of the pocket when he needs to be and he makes the right throws and the right decisions and he's leading these off. The offense went through Daniel Jones and that's not something we're used to seeing. Saquon, I've been saying this on Revival. Saquon has become a third of our offense and that makes the Giants really dangerous because Daniel Jones is throwing fucking darts out there. Hub, can I curse here? I'm sorry, but I'm excited.
You're fine. It's okay.
That's how the Giants are going to win this game. The defense, like you said with the coaching, they're always going to have us in the game. I just feel like Wink is going to do enough to keep us in the game. And we arguably have more stars on that side. So the offense is not what we're used to. So they do that. They be aggressive. That's how you beat Philly in Philly. And it's by playing with fire and not being afraid to do so.
When I go over to Spiro now to try and convince Justin, can I ask you to maybe focus on the defensive side of the ball?
Hell yeah. I mean, listen, I'm going to go more
Challenge.
general. I'm going to go more general, and then I'll bring it back to defense, too.
He's the host. He has
Yes. All right. But first, let me get general on you. I think that the Eagles haven't played a meaningful game in a very long time. I think it's hard to turn that switch back on. I think we don't know what Jalen we're going to get. We don't know how, we don't know what Lane Johnson we're going to get. I think it's going to be hard for them to wake up out of this slumber that they've been in for a very long time because they cruised through the regular season. And just the Giants have been playing playoff games since the Redskins. So their jobs are on the line, their life's on the line every week. And then you have the Eagles coming in just well rested, but not in that game mode. So defense, baby, you have Dex, and someone said it on Revival that Dex is going to put Jason Kelsey into retirement, baby. He is going to eat his lunch.
That's a statement.
Eat his lunch. And I agree with it. I love the attitude. I want to see Kayvon bring it. The secondary is back to being with Adoree Jackson, looking like he did going forward. It's back to being very good. Very good. They shut down the number one wideout in the league. Now they got another one coming in, A.J. Brown. Let's see if they can do the same. The defense is primed and ready. Wink's always got something up his sleeve. Defense is going to bring it to Jalen Hurts. We're going to find out how injured he is. We're going to blitz his ass a little bit at first. I think we're going to blitz him, see how scared he is to run, and then you adjust after that. Yeah. So defense is going to bring it. Let's go.
Before we go over to vibes, shout out to the Australian fan. What up, Damon? How you doing?
We are
and
international
Aussie.
program.
Hey,
right, what you got for us, man? What you got? Not us, for Justin. I mean,
Justin, I got nothing.
Look at Justin.
But hold on now. Hold on.
Just convince me.
Justin, I got nothing. But I will tell you this, man. We have the Eagles that know they're on cloud nine, right? We have the Eagles that know they're the number one team in the league. They're probably the best roster we've ever seen in many years, right? But let me tell you something about the New York Giants, right? In 2007, we wasn't that number one roster, right? We were scrappy. We were guys that just didn't have a chance at anything. Then it took that one improbable win, right? So you got to go in there and look at this now, Giants. You see this team. No one ever thought, man, that this Giants team will make it this far. These guys are young. These guys are scrappy. And these guys have great coaching behind them that believe in them when other people doubt them. That goes a long way to beat a very good team that is on cloud nine already, Justin. So I'll say this, man. I'm confident in more of Brian Daboll coaching these guys up and having a bunch of these misfits go out there and go wreak havoc to these players that are already on cloud nine. If I can't convince you at least that feeling, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe you're right. Maybe they have our number. But I really solely believe, man, that the Giants at this point are a very dangerous team because they're a bunch of misfits that everyone's going to count out and they're going to prove the world wrong. One game at a time. I don't know, Just what you got.
I have a stat, and then
Can I say something real quick? Can I say something real quick, and then you give the stat?
Yeah.
Good.
Also, it's a different type of comparison than anybody's made here tonight. Let's look at the 2008 Giants that were what 12-4, number one seed.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Something
Best
happened late
team.
in the season that took away a lot of momentum from them, and they did not finish the season nearly as good as they began it.
Plaxico Burr shot himself in a private part.
And they ended up in the divisional round because they had, the bye week.
Yep.
But they ended up facing the 6th seed Philadelphia Eagles, who were a hot team coming in, and they lost to them. This number one seed Philadelphia Eagles team did not finish the year nearly as strongly as they started it. Something happened at the end of the season that little threw them off guard a little bit. Jalen Hurts, their starting quarterback, got a little hurt.
And somebody shooting themselves in a private part.
Different from somebody, of course.
a little,
But it affected them nonetheless. And now you have the 6th seed New York Giants going into Philadelphia, and they're a little bit hot. And I'm just hoping for reverse history.
You know, he has that stat.
I have
Hold on, let's see.
Let's see it.
After this stat, I'm gonna say goodbye, and I will hand the stream off.
I love you.
We love you.
This
We love you.
All right.
We love you.
This is not me. This is Ben Baldwin. But let's act like it comes from me.
Love you.
The 2011 New York Giants, 8.5-point underdogs in the divisional round to a team they lost to in the regular season. A win would send them to San Francisco. The 2022 New York Football Giants are 7.5-point underdogs in the divisional round to a team they lost to in the regular season, and a win might send them to San Francisco.
We shall see.
That's what I call trends. That happened once, and it could happen again. All right, with that,
Hard to beat a team. Hard to beat a team 3 times in a season.
Is what they say, Spiro. Hard to beat
They say that sometimes.
It's hard to beat a team 3 times. All right, fellas, enjoy your stream. I got an
Justin,
episode. I got an episode.
thank you
to edit.
so
I love
much,
you
man.
guys. Be well.
Love you, brother.
Let's go.
I'll see you when we beat the Eagles, man. I'll definitely be texting you when we beat the Eagles. So
check out if
you're
Hub is
gonna
doing
get
a
the
stream.
DM.
If Hub is doing a stream, if New York Revival are doing a stream, if they're doing whatever on game day, have them on your phone, but also come to our playoff event. And it's $20.
Tell them where it is.
It's at Billy's Sports Bar in the Bronx. Huge space. We sold out at Mr. Purple with 200 people last week. So guess what? We want a bigger space. We want to do it bigger. We want to do it better because we're playing the Eagles. So come check us out. Come hang out. If you're watching the game alone, if you don't have a lot of Giants fans you're watching with, we're gonna have 200, maybe even 300 people plus. They're gonna be watching, reacting to the game together at Billy's Sports Bar in the Bronx. You can check out our socials, and also we'll have a link in our show notes too tomorrow for the Eventbrite, so you can get a ticket. You can get there. So appreciate you guys. Love you all. Let's go Giants. Let's win some games.
You're the best, JP.
Yeah, buddy.
All right, JP. We'll talk to you, man. We'll see you, brother. Listen, that's how you know talking Giants is the juggernaut. You just said they just sold out 200. They said they want 300 now.
It was the first ever live event, and it sold out. I think within the first couple of days. It was crazy.
Wow.
First ever.
Videos of it looked amazing. I'm not making it to the Bronx, but that is going to be a damn good time.
Yeah.
Are you in Jersey? Are you in Jersey, Hefe?
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody here, Jersey? I know Vibes is in
not
the
either.
fake borough. Yeah, he's in the fake borough.
Yeah,
you might as well call me Jersey, all right, man? You might as well call me Jersey.
let me get a couple comments from the chat.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Let's see. Big Dash, out to Big Dash. She says Philly has a roster, but we have a better team. Quick responses from anybody. Go ahead. What y'all think about that comment?
What?
Yeah.
Let me say that. I'm sorry, Speed. I'm not, and then you can
go.
No. I know exactly what Big Dash is saying. It's exactly what I was saying earlier. Yes, they have the better roster. They're number one team in the NFL. We get it. But the Giants and that camaraderie that they have in that locker room, they feel like they could beat the world. That confidence going into any game is dangerous. It's dangerous. This is why I think the Giants are going to win. Like they beat Minnesota, played their hearts out. But the Giants has had that one extra little oomph in there. Look how Kenny Golladay was blocking, for goodness sake. You know what I mean? Like, you see the energy behind that team, that confidence, that like, okay, we can ball with people. It gives me that 2007 vibes when they were beating the last game when playing the Patriots. Then they carried that momentum into the Super Bowl. So, guys, this is exactly what I don't know. It feels great, but I agree with Big Dash, man. I think that we have the better team for sure.
I gotta ask all of y'all, since you guys kind of popped in like the kind of, I guess, middle towards the end of Justin coming in. The biggest thing, of course, is what the title of the stream was. So I need to get your individual opinion on Mr. Daniel Jones, and he has a middle name. I keep forgetting the name. I gotta start talking.
I think it's Francis. I think it's
We'll
Francis.
call him Luther.
There's no way it's
looks
Francis.
like Luther.
It's like Luther. We'll call him Luther. Daniel Luther
Mr.
Jones sounds good.
Playoff Daniel. Let's call him
I
that.
love Vic.
Because there was a
Actually-
playoff Eli, and I believe there's a playoff Daniel. So go ahead, Hefe. What did this man show you on Sunday?
He's dangerous. Also, I like Daniel motherfucker Jones.
Yeah.
That's
It's Daniel
Motherfucker.
Steven Jones.
It's Steven.
Steven.
It's Steven.
Francis.
It might as well be Francis.
Knew it had an S in it though.
Oh.
Oh,
I like
tell ya.
Luther. I like Luther.
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 Daniel Jones is more confident than I've ever seen him be. How quickly he knows what he wants to do. And know what showed me that he is different, not just the way he's been playing the last couple of games, and then I'll hand it off after this. The stiff arm he threw. When he was running with the ball and threw a stiff arm, that tells me this dude has a different mentality because I've never seen him do that before. Where like we've been saying it for weeks, right? Be the dog. Like go out there. Like you're dangerous. Start believing it. So when he threw his stiff arm and got some extra yards, I'm like, he's getting confident, man. And that's exactly what he needs. That's a playoff quarterback that you want to ride with. So Speed, what you got?
Yeah, man, listen, they put the game on Daniel Jones's shoulders. They trusted him early in the season. Everybody's like, they're playing conservative because they don't trust Daniel Jones. So what do you say happened on Sunday? They put all the trust in Daniel Jones. They ran it through him. They said, hey, we're going to need you to take the ball almost 15 times. And he's like, all right, saddle the fuck up. Let's go. You know, he was ready to rock the whole time. He's throwing darts all over the place. He's pushing the ball down the field. He's running like his job and his NFL career depends on it. And he's done nothing to disprove their trust. So theoretically, that trust is going to keep growing. It's going to keep growing. And he's an assassin now. You see how jacked up he was after the Saquon TD?
Yeah.
He went in there screaming. It's a different attitude. It's a different Eli with the two fists screaming after a touchdown. These guys mean business. He talked to Eli. He knows what the jobs entails. He knows the assignment, and he's gonna get it, man. DJ's fucking locked in.
Listen, man, when it comes to Daniel Jones, man, and I tell you, man, I was probably his worst critic going into the season. We didn't know. We didn't know what Daniel Jones can offer or bring to the table at this point. I sit here on Hub's channel because we've been through this. I saw the clip earlier with me on there with R0B. And I'll tell you this today, man, Daniel Jones changed my mind. Daniel Jones is him, okay? The way Daniel Jones progressed, especially for me at that game, was the Colts. That confidence. Daniel Jones is going through his reads. Daniel Jones knows where the defense is going to be. Audibles. Daniel Jones is throwing more accurately. Daniel Jones is running and moving in the pocket and throwing a dime on the move. Daniel Jones is that guy. This is the dog we wanted. This is what we've been asking for, and we're getting it. I think Daniel Jones, the sky's the limit. It's just a matter of, man, can we get him for the cheap? Because especially if he goes in there and beats Philly, you got to give kudos and give all credit due to Daniel Jones and this year that he's having. Remember, the offense at the beginning of the season was going through Saquon Barkley, right? Everything was through Saquon, and then unfortunately, defenses started game planning for Saquon, and it shut him down, and the offense couldn't move. But now, guess what? You got Daniel Jones running the ball, too. You got that dual threat. And if you're going to come, he's going to run, he's going to do that read option, he's going to throw a dart to Hodgins or something. You know, so Daniel Jones stepped his game up tremendously at the right time. He is him. That's all I got to say, man. And that's a mic drop for me.
They started trusting him, I'd say, like right after the bye, I think, with Jacksonville game. And that's when they kind of just started to say, let it rip almost a little bit for the last month of the season. And they did it at the right time, man. Like Brian Dable, Mike Kafka, you guys are geniuses. Rob, I know you definitely got some Daniel Jones things to say.
My bad. I was playing some Madden, with my Giants theme team real quick. let me first start off by saying this. Finally, R0B has come back to the hub. Listen. I don't know if y'all remember, and I had this conversation with you on your show And I know I had it on the New York Revival show. Shout out to the New York Revival merch, looking real sexy. Looking real clean, real crisp. Spiro, you got a little bit late to the show. Don't ever let it happen again.
We already fined him $100. We fined him already.
$100 fine, just like Michael Strahan, right on the stool. Right when you get to the seat, right on the stool. I was fined $500. Anyway, I said we should pick up the 5th-year option, did I not?
Yeah.
I said we should have picked up that 5th-year option. Yeah. But look, maybe we pick up the 5th-year option and he doesn't play like this, right?
Right.
We don't know. So they did the right thing. But look, super happy with what he's done and what Brian Dable has done. And I find it fitting that Daniel goes out there and has a career day in Minnesota, and Jason Garrett later on that evening has to sit on live television and praise the quarterback that he so rightfully failed. And Joe Judge has to watch the quarterback that he so rightfully failed. And Pat Shurmur has to watch the quarterback that I can't say he failed. I mean, he produced a rookie season, but he wasn't there. And he's struggling and trying to go to our division rival, which is fine. And it's fitting. But Justin, real quick, because if Justin's watching, Justin, you wanted to be convinced. Let me convince you. I'm gonna take off my glasses for this. Let me convince you, Justin. Is the Philadelphia Eagles have a secret weapon, a lethal weapon? And that weapon is damaged. That weapon is broken. That weapon is what makes that offense go. He is the oil that keeps the engine running smooth. And when you don't change that oil, when it gets a little bit dirty, it doesn't run as smooth. And Mr. Jalen Hurts, having an MVP caliber year, makes plays with his legs by extending plays, running for yards when things break down, sometimes for 20 plus. And that same oiled machine look like a fraction of that at week 18. So if Mr. Jalen Hurts is not fully healthy, and all of the reports show that he will not be fully healthy more than likely until the offseason, if he can't extend plays, if he can't run, if they can't do the QB sneaks that they've been so dominant with because of his shoulder, then why should we be threatened by the deep ball? That his running and leg ability opens up the deep ball, which his running and leg ability that opens up that deep ball opens up the running lanes for Miles Sanders to go ahead and be successful. The New York Giants are going to Philadelphia. Sexy Dexy will hit that man. And the Philadelphia Eagle fans will be watching and breaking. You'll hear, just like the woman in Top Gun said, honey, there are hearts breaking all over the world tonight. Well, there will be hearts breaking all over Philadelphia.
Baby.
Because they will be watching Gardner Colonel Mustard Mustache Minshew piss their season away. Because Jalen Hurts won't be able to finish the game. And that, my friends, to my man, Mr. Paul Heyman, that's not a prediction. It's a spoiler.
Okay.
I smell it, man. Can I get that? If you smell, can I get that?
Okay.
And then I'm going to run, guys, because I got to run. But can I get the if you smell?
If you smell what R0B and the New York Football Giants is cooking.
Let's go.
So dramatic.
Okay. Okay.
And on
Listen,
that note,
boys,
I gotta run, guys. I'm
letting you know we're beating the
Thank you
Eagles.
for having me.
Oh, we're beating them. We're beating them.
No problem. Vibes, thank you
Go
for calling
Giants.
in, man. Have a good one, bro.
Appreciate you
Let me
having
get
us,
this.
man.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead. Peace. Bam. Let me go
Yo,
ahead.
I love you guys. Peace out.
Peace. Shout out to the
Listen,
New
bro,
York Revival, man.
we're
Let me
beating
get
them.
this Joseph Clark super chat and then this other super chat. Joseph says, I think DJ has Josh Allen potential seriously or ceiling seriously. A shout out to Joseph Balby, man. It's been a minute, Joseph. Happy you're back as we are on a little bit of a run here in the Giants. And a shout out for Tudo for the $5 super chat. He says, massive salutes and respects to Big Boss Kush, Eli, Jeff, Spiro, Rob, and all diehard Giants fam in the building, and slap all the stinky boy losers out the door. Listen, you didn't even really talk about Mr. Daniel Jones yet, did you?
Nah, man. Like, I didn't really like dive too much into it, but look, I think look, the bottom line with Daniel is he's played well all year. And he's gradually improved the entire year. And when you sit back and you think and you look at his progression this year, it really is a testament to what was here and what is here now. And it just proves to the point that the people that were here prior to Brian Daboll, I mean, did not know how to properly go ahead and take care of this kid. And this kid was broken. Like, he was broken, battered, beaten, and was a shell of himself. And Brian Daboll came in here and plucked this kid up from the depths of the bottomless pit that he was in and showed him and proved to himself that he's a quarterback. And I would probably say gradually throughout the year, I would say the turning point for him was the Sunday night game against the Washington Commanders. 97 play drive, finding open receivers, making reads. The following game, you go and that's on Christmas Eve, and you play the Vikings, and you have one of your best passing performances, right? Best passing performances, the entire season. I won't say of his career because he's thrown for 5 touchdowns. He's thrown for 500 yards. I think he's thrown for 500 yards.
I still think you can argue his entire career just because of the impact and the fact that it's a playoff game, playoff debut nonetheless. Like, I feel like you can make that argument.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, he went to Minnesota on Christmas Eve, they opened up the offense. He threw the ball 40 times, had a great performance. Then he follows it up the following week by having a dominant performance on both the ground and through the air, scoring 4 total touchdowns. Obviously, they sat him for week 18, but now you go into a playoff game and you do what you did in week 16 and in week 17 in the same game. Now, he didn't score a rushing touchdown, but he used his legs. He extended plays. He's gotten, 57 first downs this year with his legs alone. He was finding receivers. He was making reads. He was going through his progressions. He was rolling out, extending plays. The throw to the sideline by Isaiah Hodgins. What a throw. There was another play that he threw it deep to Darius Slayton in the corner of the end zone. That was his third progression that he went through before he threw that football, manipulating the pocket, his decision-making to whether keep the ball or to run. He's waiting to the last possible second to make that decision, or if he knows that they're in man coverage and their backs to him, he's taking off. He played out of his mind this past Sunday. And I think that right now he's hot. He is hot. He is feeling it. He is confident. And I think he's going to go into this game. Maybe he doesn't throw for like 300 yards or something like that or whatever, but I can see him going for like 250 and three touchdowns, 2 through the air, 1 on the ground. Like, I could see him having that kind of game. I could see him doing like 300 total yards, like maybe 50, 60 on the ground, rushing touchdown, 2 passing touchdowns, 250 through the air. And the biggest thing, Kush, he don't turn the ball over. He's very, very good with not turning the ball over, not putting his team. And the other thing, and you can clearly see it from Sunday's game, this team is behind him 100%. Barkley, the defense, the coach, everybody is buying in to Daniel Jones. Everybody is standing behind this kid. And you know what? He's more than likely going to get tagged. But I'll tell you this, if they go on a run here and they win the Super Bowl, he's going to get a long-term contract. And I can't wait. At bare minimum, he's getting tagged, I think. And I can't wait to see in another year into this system with this owner. Shout out to John Mara for going outside the family and bringing in Joe Shane. Joe Shane bringing in Brian Daboll, and what they have done this year with the cap space, with the rotation of players offensively, defensively. Amazing job. Amazing job.
And I'm completely with you on all those points. Let me quickly get some of these comments here, and then I'll pop on the next caller on the show, who's actually like an actual caller, not like a guest caller this time around. Bookend Tackle says DJ did the talking for himself. Shout out to NYBSMM5. I remember you, bro. How you doing? I used to say this all the time as a kid. I don't know if you used to say this when Eli was playing for us, Rob, but I used to say this all the time as a kid. Can't spell elite without Eli, man. Man, I used to say him so much. He is the next him. Yeah, go ahead.
That's true.
Let's see. Dexy will have Jalen Hurts in the dirt. I think it was Spirit that came on and said Dexter Lawrence is going to put Jason Kelsey in a retirement home. I like that. I hope that's true. Mark B says when Daniel threw that pick early in the season and Dable got on him in the sideline, he was never the same. A changed man. The rest is history. I want to say that, but it's also low-key doing something that I thought couldn't be done. I've said for a couple of years now on this channel that I believe Jason Garrett and Joe Judge took away one of Daniel Jones' most important aspects, and that was being a gunslinger. And for, I'd say, 2 games now, Colts and this one, this coaching staff is starting to bring it back. They're not coaching their players to be scared of making mistakes. Because when we did that last year, all the players are thinking about is making the mistake. But let's pop on Nova. Nova, what's up, man?
Yeah, what up, Kush? What up, Rob? How's it going?
What up, Nova?
I'm chilling. Just, still basking in the glory that I haven't felt since I was in middle school, even though it wasn't the Super Bowl, but, just a postseason.
Do you have anything to say about my playoff predictions from, last week?
Listen.
About my Super Bowl agenda or anything like that?
I still think you got to post. The meal's looking a little better. I'll say that much, right? It's looking.
Yeah, because you said I wasn't cooking anything.
Yeah, I still think you're missing a few ingredients. But like I said, if the Giants, if they somehow manage to go into Philadelphia and they pull out the win, like I said in the comments earlier, I will be arrested because, I live right outside of Philadelphia, neighboring city. And, I'm going to start some shit with their fans because they're already talking crazy. So I will be arrested, 1. But 2, then I would definitely say you up in there chefing it up for sure. You got to link up with Chef A.
Rob, why do so many people, they don't see the vision, Rob?
So Nova, what if I told you, Nova, that since 1990, the Giants are 6-0 against number 1 seeds in the postseason?
I know that, but it's just like
Let me ask you this. What gives you the doubts? What gives you the doubts that we can go in there and pull this off? Is it like more like is this a mirage? Like this can't be real? Or what is it that you don't think that it can be done?
It's just what is the likelihood, like considering everything, like get all the circumstances given it a season, and then you just look at. I know Justin brought up earlier like trends, but a bad trend is the Giants haven't won in Philadelphia since 2013, and I remember that game very vividly. Michael Vick left that game early with a concussion. They had who the hell was it? Matt Barkley, whatever his name was, their 3rd string in. So technically, the last time the Giants won in Philadelphia with their starting quarterback playing was the season they won the Super Bowl and they beat them in Week 3. The Victor Cruz breakout game, which I also remember very vividly. So it's like I just don't know. I would love for it to happen. I'm not saying that the Giants don't have a chance to beat the Eagles. Like I think they can do it, but it's like winning the Super Bowl this season. Like you got to even if they beat the Eagles, like they're still two big steps away from achieving the ultimate goal. I just think
well,
they're just young. Like I don't know.
Look, like I said, in 07, that team hardly looked like a team that was ready to make a run at a championship. They had cornerstone players in good positions. Strahan, obviously the quarterback, Plexico. They had some guys, they had some pieces. And I believe they started out like 0-2.
0-2, then they won 6 straight.
And won 6 straight, and then they started losing games, and then they made it in, the rest is history. Look, right now at this particular point, the Eagles have everything to lose. We don't, because nobody expected us to be here.
Yeah,
nobody thought we would be in the postseason. Nobody thought Daniel would play this way. Nobody thought Barkley would play this way. Nobody thought this coaching staff would be able to do this. The Eagles have been cemented into the number 1 seed, into representing the NFC since the beginning of the season.
I would say before that, honestly, like people were picking.
Even before that, they were picked to win the division, and now they have a battered quarterback. That in Week 18, if you go back and you watch that game in Week 18, it wasn't that Hurts was rusty, like meaning where he was off target. He was playing differently. He wasn't staying in the pocket long enough to go ahead and deliver a strike like he has been throughout the course of the season. When pressure came in, he immediately got happy feet because he didn't want to get hit. When he's running to the sideline or running, he slid down. He normally lowers his shoulder and tries to truck you. He was playing the game completely different. And all of the reports are saying that he's not 100%. And if he's not, the Giants are going to get after him. The Giants are hungry. If Dexter Lawrence, who's been probably the most dominant defensive nose tackle in the NFL this season, at least over the last few weeks, with the pressure that he was able to get against Minnesota, with what he was able to do to an all-pro left guard in Quentin Nelson just a few weeks ago, if he can wreck the game like he's wrecked the games the last few weeks, we have a definite possibility of throwing this team off and pulling off an improbable win. And I'll end it with this for you. A buddy of mine that I talked to back in 2000, the Giants, or not the 2000, this was the year after we won the Super Bowl. We ended up going 12-4. We clinched the number 1 seed. We got a bye. We beat Carolina. And a team that was coming into the playoffs was the Philadelphia Eagles. And they were hot. They were hot going into the playoffs. And we were a little bit battered and beaten. And we ended up playing them in the divisional round. And they beat us.
Yeah.
It would be nice. And it will be payback. Because they are the number 1 seed. They are beaten. They haven't been playing good, which we weren't playing good in 08 down the stretch. And we're getting hot right now. The offense is clicking. You got these young players that are making plays, and Isaiah Hodgins and Richie James and Daniel Bellinger and DJ, and the offensive line is playing good. The momentum and the confidence is building up in this team. We are going to go into Philadelphia, and we are going to upset the Philadelphia Eagles, and we will go to the conference championship game. And it doesn't matter who we play in that conference championship game. We are going to go to the Super Bowl, and it will be a 1990 rematch. Bills versus the New York Giants. I've had a vision. It will be the Bills and the Giants in the Super Bowl. And Tyler Boss, the kicker for the Bills, will have an opportunity to kick a game-tying field goal to send the Super Bowl into overtime. And he will miss. And the New York Giants will become Super Bowl champions.
I like your vision, but I gotta disagree with it. See, now the vision I had is that it would be the Giants versus the Chiefs in the Super Bowl,
The Kadarius Toney revenge game.
and Kadarius Toney would tear his ACL in the first quarter, and the Giants would win by at least a touchdown or two. But I don't know. Nova, go ahead, man.
You just want some sick revenge. That's you're just
like, you had to go for
revenge.
his
That's all you're
ACL. You couldn't
looking
even
for.
say he would.
Bro,
just pull
y'all
his
know I
hamstring
used to be a
again,
big
like,
KT fan
I
too, but
know
you guys
that
didn't.
you cut him out
y'all-
the intro. You just shortened the intro by like 1 second.
Yeah, because it takes a lot for me to redo the whole animation. Like
Yeah.
that actually took me like a whole day to make. But
mean,
you
I
guys
still
know I
like
used to be a
him as a
huge
player. I
Kadarius
don't
Toney
have
fan and defender. But did you guys see what he tweeted yesterday?
No, what do you tweet?
So this was when the Vikings, no, not Vikings. This is when Darius Slayton dropped the ball on the 3rd and 15,
Yeah.
and the Vikings got the ball back. He just tweeted out a laughing emoji, like you go and check it, and it's kind of funny. It's like I don't know if he's doing that to Darius Slayton or if he's just doing that because he thought the Giants were gonna lose. But I was like, all right, man, it is what it is, man. It is.
Bro, he's got ill feeling. Listen, it's gonna be. You don't want to know what's gonna be even better, sweet revenge, when what I said on the predictions happens. Jacksonville's gonna beat the Chiefs this weekend, and he'll be eliminated.
I don't know
and
about
we'll
that.
win.
I don't know about that, but shout out to Manny. He says, "What's up, boys? You think there's anything the Giants can take from Washington win versus the Eagles that the Giants can replicate at all?" I mean, in that win against the Eagles, yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, they just got to Hurts a lot, right?
Yeah, pretty
In
much.
the week 18,
they didn't let him out the pocket more specifically, and they
Are you-
ran the ball.
are you talking about week 18 or are you talking about the Washington game?
When Washington beat them during the
Philadelphia
season.
on Monday night.
Basically, what Washington did is it wasn't that they were getting some pressure, but what they did was they just controlled the time of possession. That's really what they did. They
Yeah, they ran the ball.
that was
they
it.
they
Yeah.
controlled
ran the
time of
ball.
possession. They kept the ball. They kept them off the field. And even with that, the Eagles still had an opportunity to win that game if Quez Watkins doesn't drop that ball or whatever. Like they still have an opportunity to win that football game. So
And Washington was able to hit a lot of big shots too because Terry McLaurin was just beating Slay. Like,
Yeah,
all day
yeah,
long,
Terry
which
McLaurin
I would
was
love
beating
to happen, 'cause
Slay and
if
everything,
there's
yeah.
one player I hate on the Eagles is Darius Slay because he talks so much shit just completely unprovoked, and it's like weird. Like, oh, I gave a speech. We're gonna go in there and beat the Giants' ass because they released James Bradbury. I'm like, okay, that's just a really weird. Okay, like James Bradbury isn't even tripping over it himself.
I was about to say, I don't think
Like,
James
always
Bradbury
tweeting about
cares.
it. Like, he's just a weirdo. He's always running his mouth. I don't like Slay at all. I think he's a good player, but I always think he's been like overrated too. He's not
Thank
as
you.
good as people make him
I
out
said
to
it
be
when
at
he
all.
was on the Lions, and I've been
Yeah,
saying
even
it
when he was
now
on the
because he has like a quote unquote all pro season. I'm like, it's fake. It's the Trayvon Diggs all pro season. He's not that good.
Yeah, he's a
He's
good
a good
player, but
cornerback.
He's
But
not.
he's
what
not
people make him
elite.
out to be. Yeah,
He's so
definitely
overrated.
not.
Oh
he's
I would
not
love
even
to
a
see
top
Hodges
10
just
corner
work
in
his
my
ass.
opinion. Maybe top 15, but he's not.
Yeah,
even
it's, I
top
put
10.
him around like top 15 and stuff, like top 10. Hell no.
Nova, before I pop you out from Mike Green, though, whether it's about the Eagles, whether it's about Daniel Jones, which I'm not sure if he said anything about the Savior yet, whatever you got, man, go ahead.
I don't know, man. I'm just hoping. I have a few X factors for the game. Like I'm really hoping Aziz is good to go. I don't know what the hell's going on with Aziz. I think he looked limited, like probably still nursing the ankle injury in the Vikings game before he left, anyways. But the injury report said that he should be good to go. The one that came out today, and they're not even listing the leg injury like anymore. So they said it was just a thigh bruise, but it was still his ankle. So I'm hoping that since he's barely played the past few games, that by Saturday it should be good to go. It's just that, and just the offensive line. I was actually pretty pleased with Evan Neal's game against the Darius Smith and Daniel Hunter. He didn't look as exploitable as he did in the first matchup against them, because those are like my X factors. Like, they're gonna have to be able to get pressure on Hurts, and they're just gonna have to protect Jones. I think if they protect Daniel Jones, I think Daniel Jones is gonna light up the Eagles secondary. I'm not scared of James Bradbury and Darius Slay at all.
I'm not either.
They're good, but I think Jones. They're both corners that can be had, and then even that first match, I think we talked about it before, where even Brian Dable said that there were plays out there to be had, we just didn't have it. And there was a couple times where like Isaiah Hodgins had James Bradbury beat on double moves, like deep down the field, and he just wasn't able to get the shots off because of the pressure. So if they can protect Jones, I think they're going to be very efficient.
Well, listen, on the plane ride home, Jones and Barkley were watching film.
Watching film.
They were watching film. Listen. I think the players ain't going to say it. Players ain't going to say it. Dave's ain't going to say it. They want this, right? They wanted Minnesota because they felt that they could beat them, and I think they want this matchup. This is what they wanted because they want to go out there and they want to get their revenge. And listen, you know what? I'm going to be the biggest Brock Purdy fan and hope that they beat the Cowboys, but it's going to be fitting if the Cowboys win and we go on this and we have the opportunity to not only end Philadelphia's season, but end Dallas's season as well in their respectable houses. Okay, go to their stadiums and end their season. Like this team is out for sick revenge. Okay, they're the Jason Borkowski. Okay, this is Friday the 13th, and we're the serial killers, and we're going out there to take you out. Like they want some sick revenge. I'm with it. I'm with it.
I am too. I'm hoping it comes to fruition.
No, but thank you for calling in, man.
Kush,
hopefully you see the meal next week, but we'll see, bro.
Kush, real quick, one last thing right before I go. I told you about it before, but I was like working like on some mock-up concepts for like Giants uniforms. I have a few rough drafts done. Can I DM them to you?
Show it. Oh, I thought you were about to say, can you show them on stream, which I would have been down for. But yeah, go ahead and DM them to me.
Well, you can show them on stream if I DM them on Twitter, because that way you can actually pull up a picture or whatever. So
got you.
They're really
right
rough
now.
drafts, but I'm still learning how to photo edit. So, but all right.
You're good, bro. Send them over. Let's see.
I got 4.
Let me share screen here. What y'all think about this mock-up here, Giants fans?
Like I said, these are really rough drafts because I'm still learning how to photo edit. But
I like the
are you just making
stripe?
new jerseys?
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of similar to the? Am I tripping or similar to like the '70s uniform almost?
So the whole goal with like all these uniforms when you see them is I'm trying to take like the best parts of like elements that the Giants have had on all their uniforms throughout the decades and combine them into one jersey, but still make it look neat. Like,
yeah, no, I definitely get that. But the arm thing, that's from the '70s, right? Or no?
No, that's the stripes that they wear on the away jerseys now. It's just like the middle stripe there is just like white. Like,
that's actually really cool then.
Yeah,
I like the look of the arm a lot, like because that's the
Yeah.
first thing that caught my eye.
With all the variants, it's like I want to make the uniforms like all fundamentally the same, just colored differently.
Mm-hmm.
You should have all
Let me
4
bring
of
up
them now.
Let me bring up the white one. We had something similar to this in the early 2000s, right?
That kind of
Or am
looks
I-
like an old school Patriots jersey.
That's a combination pretty much of like the current away with the early 2000s away with the blue outline on the red numbers and then the blue
Yeah.
Giants word mark and then the collar with the like the 80s, 90s, same thing that they wear on the color rush.
That's the thing that came to mind for me immediately. The early 2000s numbering right there, and then the red one, which I might be the only person that's a fan of the red one because I am the only
everybody
person that
hates
actually likes
red,
the old
but-
red one. Yeah, I like the red one. Although this one I could see definitely be called like another team. And then finally, what is this? A gray steel?
Mm-hmm. This is like it's supposed to be like inspired off like the gray pants that they used to wear. Because again, with the striping pattern on the sleeves, I took the idea of what they do with the road uniforms now, where the striping pattern on the sleeves matches the pattern on the pants.
Yeah.
So like, I'm gonna do like images like of the actual players and stuff. Like once I get more comfortable with like photo editing and stuff. Where like even like with the blue ones I made, I have like a variant where they wear like the blue pants with the same striping pattern, and then same thing with the gray, same thing with the white. So.
Well, I like them a lot.
Thanks.
Although I'll say, let's see, the white one looks a lot like the 2000s one. I know like you're supposed to combine all of them, but that's all I see when I see that one.
Yeah.
The white one. That's pretty damn good. What do you use? What software do you use?
I use GIMP. It's pretty much just a free Photoshop.
No, I know what GIMP is. Trust me.
Can you do Nova? Can you do like full like if you get a player like that's in a jersey, like in a uniform,
I'm gonna try to do that next. Yeah, I'm working. So I've been like messing with it a little bit. I'm trying to do one like of like Jones when he modeled like the new away uniforms last season. I'm gonna try to like just have him in all the variants that I made for them, because these all these uniforms were originally like just ones I made for a video game, but then I was like, let me just I thought it'd be cool because I see people discuss all the time like if the Giants got new uniforms, what they would want them to look like. So that's kind of just like
I saw a thing on just to give you an idea. I saw a like a kind of like a model where it was Kayvon, and he had on red pants with the blue jersey, and it was like a darker blue helmet on.
Not gonna lie, that sounds nasty.
It actually looked pretty sick.
If you could find it, I don't know.
Let me see if I got it on my phone, and I'll send it to you. Hold on.
You're gonna have to show me later though, because I need to get the other two callers
on
though.
Yeah. I'll just DM it to you. You could check it out later.
No, but thank you though, man. Keep working on it, and I definitely think see if you could get like a full body one when you get good enough with GIMP, bro.
Yep, gotcha.
Peace. Mike, what's up, man? Go ahead. First, start off with Daniel Jones before anything else. Start off with Daniel Jones.
Good evening, gentlemen. How y'all doing?
Doing great, Mike.
Good.
How's you be? Long time no see, sir.
Long time no see, indeed, my friend.
Do you remember the last time we was on this platform together?
I believe, was it on Hub Show? I believe it was on Hub Show, or was it on?
It was on Hub Show. The first time we played the Eagles with me, you, Hub, and Pissed. And if I remember this correctly, before I got off, weren't you saying we should be drafting Richardson from our beloved university, the Florida Gators?
Yeah, I mean, I was saying at that particular point in time, because obviously, opinions change. Like opinions change, things change. Like I don't think anybody, even myself, like I picked us to have, 7 wins this year. I didn't think that we were going to do anything. But when you Daniel's been progressing the entire year, but obviously he's really improved these last few weeks, and he's got us in the playoffs. He's got us with a win, and I think at this particular point, he's earned the right to come back. Whether that's on, I think it's going to be on the tag. We're going to have a harder schedule next year, and he'll be another year into the system, and he'll be able to go out there and showcase what he's capable of. They'll go out there and better the roster, get better skill positions, this, that, and the third. I've got good hopes for him. He's definitely got me intrigued. 100%. I ain't gonna lie about it. But opinions change.
Herb, if there was only a guy who predicted all this shit way back in April, March, May, June.
If only.
It was only a guy. Oh yeah,
that guy does not exist.
I've been saying this, bro. I've been saying we were going to the playoffs. I said we were going to the Super Bowl before we played the Jacksonville Jaguars. Matter of fact, I said number 5 is on the way.
I know. I was joking with you, but yeah, I know.
So, but speaking of Daniel Jones, like I said the last time I was on the show, ladies and gentlemen, this is your quarterback of the future. Just get ready. Get ready for winning Giants football. I'm not shocked. I'm not surprised about what he's doing. I expected this. He just never had a competent coaching staff to bring it out of him. Pat Shermer possibly could have had these results. He just didn't have the defense to back it up. That didn't really give him time to get these results. But
Pat Shermer isn't also nearly as good as a head coach as Brian Dable is either.
Oh no, nowhere near. But I'm saying he didn't have no Kayvon Thibodeau's and Dexter Lawrence's on defense. He didn't have the hit makers that Brian Dable does to complete the process. Is what I'm saying. And he didn't have offensive line either. Nowhere near is what we got today. Daniel Jones has done everything that he needed to do and more to not only earn a multiple year deal, but every New York Giants fan respect, which is something he's never gotten since he was drafted 6th overall back in 2019. But he got it now, and I said we was gonna get the goddamn birds one more time before it's over. And lo and behold, look who we got Saturday night.
Lined up.
You know what? Honestly, gonna be since you here, I just want you to know that The Rock was also my favorite wrestler.
Okay.
And they actually called me the Great One in high school. That was one of my nicknames.
Okay.
There's a certain promo that I think you would know. I would like to relive for these goddamn Eagles. If that's okay with you, can I have the flow for a little second?
Sure, go right ahead, my man.
Tick-tock. Tick-tock. Philadelphia. You came into the season granted a championship that you haven't earned. You came into the season thinking that you owned the NFC East. You came into the season thinking that the New York Football Giants was your stepping stool. But I'm here to tell you, tick-tock, tick-tock, your time of being happy, your time of dominating, and your time of thinking you won the division is over. If you smell what The Rock is cooking.
Okay. Okay.
Philadelphia, you're not beating us 3 times. The ass whooping that you deserve will come from the New York Giants. What you've been waiting for is the playoffs. What we've been waiting for is to send y'all green and white asses home where you belong. So I say that to say Saturday night, enjoy it, because this is your last damn game of the season.
This is what to add on to that. Actually, to add on to that, we talked with the previous caller about Darius Slay and James Bradbury, how we believe that they can be a little bit exposed. So if this falls into a shootout here, Mike Green, I think the Giants are in good spot to be in a shootout, given what we just did with the Vikings. I also think if we look at our corners, I feel like people forget that Adoree Jackson has experience going up against AJ Brown. I think Adoree will be fine if they choose to line him up, or if they choose to put somebody with a bigger body with an extra help over the top, or whatever the case may be. I feel like people maybe our secondary deserves just a little bit more credit. What do you guys think about that?
Adoree Jackson wasn't drafted in the first round because he's a scrub. Let's get that out the way. Secondly, Adoree Jackson has a defensive line, too, that's going to get after the quarterback. Fabian Monroe can cover Devontae Smith. And we ain't just going to let these folks be one-on-one like that. And if they are, he ain't going to have that much time to throw because we blitzing the hell out of them. Secondary going to be straight. We're going to be good.
Got you. What about you, Rob?
No, I mean, I definitely think it gives us an edge, right? Adoree Jackson been going up against him when he was with Tennessee. so he knows his tendencies, knows who what he likes to do, what he's capable of. And listen, I mean, AJ Brown ain't no Jetta. And I think, when it came to Justin Jefferson, I think he held him to 4 catches, 37 yards. Adoree Jackson, Adoree Jackson's been doing a hell of a job, with, this entire season. So, good on him. And I think it definitely gives you an added piece when you got somebody that's familiar with everything going on 100%.
Mike, you there?
And then here's another thing too. This guy named Xavier McKinney, you ain't just gonna just catch balls over the middle and don't expect your head to be knocked off.
Repeat that one, Mike. You cut out a little bit.
I said we got a guy named Xavier McKinney that'll knock your head off.
He's not no. I don't think he's a hard hitter, or he's a good tackler. I don't know if he's that hard of a hitter. I'm kind of excited to see Dexter Lawrence really mess up the interior here. Leonard Williams really mess up the interior. I'm excited to see Kayvon Thibodeau because he had a quiet, mostly because of the holdings, but he had a quiet playoff debut. I want to see him wreck some shop. This defensive line is really what I'm looking forward to this game.
Most definitely. And the Eagles' offensive line is good, but they ain't Jesus. They can be beat.
I can't find that picture for you, Hub. My bad.
You're good. Mike.
I'll give you a line for Mr. T. They can be beat. They will be beat. Mr. T.
Mike,
man.
What's the contract you're giving Daniel Jones right now?
$5 years. 5 years, 190.
5 years, 190.
Mm-hmm.
That's 38 a year. What's the franchise tag? Around 45 a year, right?
No, franchise tag is 32 million.
That's going to go up.
Franchise
like
tag.
32.
38 million a year. Yeah, no, the franchise tag is 45.2 million a year. So 38 a year, that's below the franchise tag. I think I'm fine with that. I'm completely fine with that. 5 years if they're convinced.
Here's the reason why.
It happening.
Here's the reason why. Because you got to re-sign Barkley. You got to re-sign some. He ain't gonna want to mess up a good team. Daniel Jones looked like a team player. So he knows that we need money to re-sign other people. So with that being said, he ain't gonna try to break the bank to get paid, but the damage, the structure of the team, instead of building on to what we already got, to not only have success just this year, but possibly be something similar to Seattle or maybe Patriots, something they ain't just around for a couple of years, that you can see this word called dynasty be built.
Mm-hmm. Isaac, I agree with you. He doesn't seem like a greedy guy either, but I've said this for a while now. Giants fans need to get the thought of this quote unquote hometown discount out of their heads. For both DJ and for Saquon, both of them have had incredible seasons, and they're gonna have multiple suitors at their doors. There's no reason for them to take any type of discount. They are going to, in the terms for both of them, it's their first big contract. Like, this is going to be possibly their only chance to get big money. But Mike, let me get your last thought before I pop on the last caller of the night.
Let's go, G-Man. In Philadelphia, let's remember, the regular season ain't the postseason. See you in a few days.
See you, Mike. Thank you as usual, man. Kashif, what's up, bro?
Year.
Last caller tonight, man.
What's going on, man? It's a good week to be a big Blue fan, isn't it?
Oh, 100%.
And how you feeling about this upcoming week?
Well, I'm feeling good. I feel like we match up well.
Yeah.
I feel like if this offense continues to perform the way it's performing, and if the defense can just get back to how they were, especially with red zone defense during the regular season, that we have a legitimate shot.
Yeah, I think pretty much on the same line. I know you probably you want to enjoy the moment now. You don't want to think too far ahead, but looking into the off season, I know a lot of people throwing around potential receivers, other players that we could trade for. Is there anyone that you would want? 'Cause I know a lot of names T Higgins, Ayuk, their names being thrown around. Is there anyone that you realistically think that we can get that you would want here for the right price? Obviously,
I'm not sure who's a free agent. Rob, do you know?
Or no, not trade, not even free agency, but trade. I know
even then, I'm not sure who's necessarily on the trading block. Rob, do you know?
That's true.
Yeah. So I mean, as far as right now, your best wide receiver free agents next year: OBJ, McCole Hardman, Michael Thomas is available. They've already agreed to go ahead and get rid of him. As far as your top names, Kenny Galladay is going to be on that list, but he just came from us, obviously. So those are really going to be your top lists or your top guys when it comes to, the wide receiver market. Now, as far as for trades, you keep an eye on guys that were being shopped, by the trade deadline. Your Jerry Jeudy's, maybe DJ Moore. I don't think T Higgins would more than likely be available. Obviously, anything can happen.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily see T Higgins becoming available. They haven't been rumored to really shop him. I would say Jerry Jeudy, DJ Moore is a name to keep an eye on. Maybe a DK Metcalf potentially if they're looking to maybe free up some cap space. Obviously, you also have DeAndre Hopkins. That's already been told that they're going to try to shop him in the offseason as far as to try to find a trade. Brandon Cooks is another name that you also want to keep an eye on for potential trade. So maybe a Devontae Adams, maybe, that depending on what they do there. Me personally, as of right now, if we win on Sunday and we're picking, let's just say we lose and Jacksonville loses. I think we're picking 26. So at that pick, you're not necessarily really getting, unless a one falls to you, and I doubt that they would move up for one.
No.
What I would like them to do in the first round is go after a corner. And so I don't think that would happen. And it's not a very deep wide receiver draft class. So I don't necessarily want them to reach for a wide receiver in the first round that they could probably get in the later rounds. So what I would potentially do is maybe pick up the phone and contact Carolina and see if they would be willing to trade DJ Moore for a first and maybe one of the additional picks that we got from Kansas City for the Tony trade and bring him in. He's 25. He's due $19 million next year, 25 total, but $4.8 million of it is a signing bonus that Carolina is responsible for.
Yeah.
And he's going to have about 19.6 on the cap. And that would be a guy that I think would flourish. You've got him pair him with Isaiah Hodgins. Wando Robinson will probably miss about 3 to 4 games, and then he'll be back from his injury. So they've got that. If they don't value the trade assets and don't want to give that up, they could very easily go ahead and try to make a run at OBJ and bring him in and see, if for whatever reason they could go ahead and go on a little bit of a run if he wants to go ahead and come back to New York. And that still is going to be a good situation. You have Odell, Isaiah, Wandell, so that would be a nice group of wide receivers there. And you wouldn't have to give up any type of draft capital for it. So that's what I would probably do. If Odell's not an option, I'm going to try to get a young, explosive wide receiver like a DJ Moore. Change of scenery would be good for him, and see what you could do with that. So,
Yeah, Ayuk's a name that's getting thrown around a lot on like Giants Twitter. I don't think that's. I don't.
Yeah,
I don't think
that's
the Niners would trade him within the NFC.
Yeah,
especially,
I don't see the Niners trading him.
Especially within
just
the NFC. Like if we play them in the NFC Championship, let's say like we play them pretty close. Like they're not going to like help us cover like our one biggest hole. So
he's
like,
basically going to be the next big paid wide receiver that they give money to. I can honestly say this: they just paid Debo Samuel, but if Debo comes out next year and Brandon Ayuk is breaking out again and having a really good year, and they feel confident, I would say at some particular point in time, if they're struggling during the year next year, or even at the end of the year next year, Debo Samuel will more than likely be on the trade block, and they'll try to move him because they really don't have a lot of draft capital. They're going to need to get draft capital back, and they're probably going to have to eat a little bit of cap, but that would be a name over the next year that I would probably look at potentially getting moved maybe. And they're going to sign Brandon Ayuk. But Brandon Ayuk is going to be the new future number one wide receiver on that team. It's only just a matter of time.
It's like what they did with Buckner too. Like they traded him right before they paid him, as they kept like drafting like D linemen there. So I think might be the way they operate too.
Yeah, same situation, same thing.
Probably, yeah. Nice.
That's interesting. I never really considered that. I mean, like, who do you think they could deal Debo to? Because like
it really would just depend on,
because like Ayuk, I think he has the ability to like carry an offensive load, but like Debo does so much for them. But I guess you kind of said Christian McCaffrey. Yeah, they got McCaffrey now and whatnot.
Yeah, so they got McCaffrey that can kind of take on some of the packages that Debo had. So there's really no need for him. Well, not that there's no need for him, but I think they could get by without him. It really would just depend on a team, one that would be willing to take on the remaining part of his contract because he got a big deal. I think he got like $140 million or something like that, or he got a nice paycheck. So it really would depend on the team that's one in need of a wide receiver, first and foremost, and two, a team that would be able to utilize him in a big way. Maybe a team that Sean Payton ends up going on, where Sean Payton would be able to utilize a player of his caliber that could do both running, coming out of the backfield, wide receiver aspect. You could look into something like that. Maybe one of these teams that are going to go out and get a young wide receiver. You look at Indianapolis. They've dealt with Indianapolis before, where they went ahead and traded DeForest Buckner over to Indianapolis, for a first-round pick, I believe. They're going to need an explosive guy. They're going to have a young rookie quarterback that's coming in. You look at a team like Houston, who is going to more than likely get rid of Brandon Cooks. They're going to draft a quarterback. They may look into getting an explosive wide receiver to try to help out their young quarterback. And here's another one I'll throw out to you. The Bears. The Bears is another team that I would not hesitate to say that they could potentially go out there and get a Debo Samuel, pair him up with a Chase Claypool. And if they believe in Justin Fields and Justin Fields is their guy, that's another team that could potentially make a trade, add a weapon like a Debo Samuel for their young quarterback.
Because they're going to get a haul for the number one pick. So
So that's pretty. Those would be the teams. Bears to me make the most sense in the next year, depending on where Justin Fields is in his development. Because those other teams with a young quarterback, it probably wouldn't be until the offseason if they feel like they really want to add a young wide receiver. So Houston, Indianapolis, maybe Carolina if they take a quarterback. Carolina's another one. But they've got DJ Moore there, so I don't see how that works. But Bears would be the team I would be looking at.
But get us back to right now, though, Kush. Forget the offseason for now. Get us back to right now. What you got for us?
What do you think should be like the strategy in terms of like between like Devontae Adams, like AJ Brown? Because I feel like some people suggested just maybe just like put Adoree on Devontae 1-on-1 and then like bracket in on AJ Brown, or like should we just like keep Adoree on like AJ? Like how do you like feel like how would you think to like, because I know Wink's gonna has something crazy planned, like because everyone expected him to blitz, like last week he didn't blitz at all, so like he probably has like something cooking up in there. But like how do you think that we should approach that?
I would say Moreau is the bigger body. Don't leave him 1-on-1 with AJ Brown at all. I think you definitely they had double coverage or like at least more than one person on Justin Jefferson this past game, and then they asked everybody else to beat them. Now the thing is that Devontae Smith I think can definitely beat us, so I'm not gonna leave him alone out of here. I probably would put Adoree on him.
Yeah, because I think Adoree can.
Then it's like it gets difficult, and obviously this is where Win comes in with how smart he is and what he come up with when do you know when to shift the safety over one side versus the other. But Rob, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, for me, if I'm Wink Martindale, first thing I want to do first drive, if you're on defense, is I want to blitz Jalen pretty heavy. I want to see how he's going to react, because that's going to tell me what kind of game we're playing. If he's feeling good, he's feeling loose, shoulder's not really an issue. Then at that point, you got yourself a game and you can make your adjustments. Obviously, have your game plan adjustment, but say, hey, yeah, for this first defensive series, this is what I'm going to do. I think Adoree on Adoree on AJ makes sense because they know each other. It's just a big physical difference, and from size, height wise, and physical build as well. AJ is a freak. I mean, he is a big, massive wide receiver on the same level as a DK Metcalf, although I think DK is a lot bigger.
Slightly bigger. I mean,
bigger,
they were teammates and like best friends.
Yeah.
In Ole Miss.
So it's going to be a tough task, really. I think you want to try to match size for size in some cases.
Yeah.
So what you may end up seeing is you may see Fabian Moreau on AJ and they may treat AJ in a lighter fashion how they treated JJ, where they have a guy kind of fading over the top, having Devontae manned up with Adoree, and having Adoree follow him around, because I think that would be a better matchup, because I think Devontae is only like 6 feet 6'1". So that would be a little bit more of a better...
I think they're the same height. AJ is also around 6'1". It's just that AJ is obviously bigger body.
Yeah. So so the same height wise. So a bigger body. So I think that maybe Adoree being a little bit faster would be a better matchup with Smith. And then obviously you've got Quez Watkins. That's the guy that really worries me, because the one who's going to be covering him is going to be Darnay Holmes. Darnay Holmes really did not do a very good job the first meeting covering Quez Watkins. And there was a couple of times where Darnay was where Devontae was his responsibility as well, and he just completely shit the bed. And Devontae got wide open, and I believe that was actually the pass where Love almost intercepted the ball, but he just kind of whiffed on it. So that was that play. That's what I would do. Come out blitzing, and see what kind of hurt you have. Flat is also another option as well.
I was thinking, because he played pretty decently the last week against Philly.
Yeah, he only got 3 snaps, so let's a small sample size, and this comes from somebody that believes in Cordell Slot.
Snap is like maybe the most important snap of the game, and he made it.
Yeah, what I would do in that situation is I would probably rotate Cordell and Darnay and try to get them both a little bit of snaps, and whoever's hotter, as far as like playing better, that's who I would go with for the remaining part of the game.
Yeah.
Kashif. Yeah. It's been good, bro. I got to end it out, man. But thank you for calling in.
No problem.
I hope you cheering for the Super Bowl agenda, man.
That's we all in, man.
Got you. Have a good night, bro.
Thank you. You too. Thanks for having me on.
No problem. And chat, That's gonna be it. I'm gonna have to close it out. I already went about 15 minutes of my usual time. Shout out to Rob. Thank you so much for calling in and popping on the show, man. Shout out to everybody in here at peak. We had, I'd want to say, around 50 or something like that in here. We got 37 right about. Make sure you hit that like button before we pop out. Young Guns podcast tomorrow night. I think it's on Kid Blue's channel. Let me double check. Yeah, because the last one was on my it was on my channel tomorrow. Damn. I am
last
not
week was
prepared.
on his, I believe.
Wow. I don't even know if I'd have time to prepare stuff, but we'll see on my channel tomorrow. That's it for now, guys. We are out.